Hey guys, it's Spaces Sins, and we are back with more Radiant Tale. Continuing where we left off. Surprise! Anyway. We just killed a fiend. Well, Ion did. We just stood there all, the rest of us were like, anyway. And now we're having dinner, and Rady is stealing liquor. Excuse you, Rady. That's my wine, you know. Oh, come on. I'll just have a tiny bit. I don't exactly get to drink the booze of great nobles all the time. There is still much food available, so please eat as much as you want. Oh, Vilio, that isn't enough for you. You can have my share too. Nah, it's fine. Don't worry about me. You should eat more, Pashalia. If you don't, you won't grow taller. He seems very tall to begin with. Huh? You of all people showing moderation in eating? Did you pick something off the ground and get food poisoning or something? After Ion's fiend extermination, we had a late dinner. Then, after some rest... Alright, now that my belly is satisfied, I suppose I'll make a report to the castle before Allie goes bonkers. We were surrounding the relay chalice that we'd received in Kalida to report back to Aleste. Aleste. I said that weird because I was like, relay chalice. A mystic tool that allows communication between two distant locations. When water is poured into the chalice, the image of the person on the other end shimmers into view and their voice can be heard as well. A very precious item that's two of a kind. The castle has lent one to Circus for their regular reports. It's so funny that's like, this is like two of a kind. Yeah, you know, you guys should just invent cell phones for all your fucking magic. We have magical tents, we have this, but we can't communicate really. Aside from writing letters. I'm just saying! Come on. How are we supposed to operate this? Just watch. Ginny poured some water into the chalice and the contents began shining. A fantastic job, all of you! Ginnia and the members of Circus! Aleste's ecstatic face shimmered into view and filled the water's surface. Wow, it's Aleste. Boy, don't touch it carelessly. The chalice's materials are invaluable, and even catching a glimpse of this tool is rare in itself. Amazing! Is that Asshole? I can't believe it's possible to talk face to face with someone so far away. Huh. Well, that's what it's used for. Wow, I'm very impressed. Allie, calm down first. I want to get the report over and done with quickly. Oh, all of you have gone well above our expectations. The moment the Flora bloomed arrived, we extracted its nectar and presented it to the prince, and no matter what we tried until now, he hadn't reacted, but his eyes, they moved, and you won't believe this, but the prince's stomach rumbled. Is that amazing? I mean, is a stomach growl worth celebrating? It might be a normal phenomenon for us, but such physiological responses haven't appeared from the prince at all until this day. Yet, he expressed hunger, which means... Or that we bloomed has triggered his vital instincts. Is that correct? Our show hadn't been futile. Though it was only the first step, we were making definite progress. Aleste, inside of the screen of water, seemed so moved that he couldn't even begin one of his rambles about the prince. His voice trembled from joy as he teared up. Seeing Aleste's elation, I clenched my hands into fists without realizing, relishing the moment. A little while later, Aleste regained his composure and coughed, guiding the topic back on track. Now then, your next destination is Kultura. Named as the city of craftsmen, yes? I've always known the handicrafts and tools from Kultura to be high quality, so I often chose their products. I've read in books that they have a wondrous labyrinth underground, and that it's a city with many wind spirits. Well, that's probably because it was founded by Libra, the great spirit of wind. Well, we're just going with that now, because whatever.
And Kultura also happens to be Zephora's birthplace.
Yeah, I see. If I ever come across anything I don't know, I'll ask Zephora. I'm counting on you. Zephora? Knowing him, I'd expect a retort like, shut up, lizard, or I don't know you answers, but for some reason, Zephora maintained his silence as he looked away, deliberately staying out of the conversation. Ooh, I don't want to go home. Oh, we're gonna get some drama in your story? I'll cut to the chase. As for the prevalent issues in Kultura, they're of a different nature than Kalida's. There are incidents with actual harm done. These are likely the cause of the plummeting bloom rates there. Incidents? Citizens suddenly lose their good judgment and commit crimes. We refer to them as the lunatic riots. Lunatic riots, a series of incidents where normal people suddenly lose all reason and commit crimes. There are many cases in Kultura, greatly ranging in severity. Some commit robbery, while others escalate to assault. Given time, the perpetrators regain their rational minds and obediently admit to their crimes. That name is rather unsettling. The severity of the cases varies. Some commit robbery, while others escalate to assault. There is one common factor. After criminals are caught, they regain their sanity and admit to their crimes, apologizing and claiming they suddenly lost control.
Perhaps due to those riots, the citizens don't leave their homes unless absolutely necessary, from what I've heard.
I see. If they're in a constant state of terror, Chloris could never bloom. Hold up. We work for the government and all, but we're just civilians, you know. Asking us to solve incidents that even the country's having trouble with is a bit of a stretch, don't you think? I'm fully aware of that fact. We're not asking you to get to the bottom of these incidents. The only task we have for you is blooming a flora. Nothing more, nothing less. In other words, we're here to bring joy to the scared citizens, right? Indeed, I understand that it'll be an excruciatingly difficult task, but I'm putting my faith in all of you, Circus. With those words, the transmission ended. How do you end the transmission? You just take the water and chuck it. You're like, all right, bye. You carry like, no, you hang up. No, you hang up. I haven't gotten to the sink to dump the water out, silly. Ginny is like, chucks the water out. I mean, we're outside, so we could do it, but like, chugs it. Ah! Like, how do you, like, the light of the chalice dimmed, and it returned to being a mere vessel of water. Yeah, okay, but how does it know you're done talking? You know what I mean? There's water in it. You pour water in it to communicate, but, like, the lunatic riots. Bringing joy to scared citizens, So terrified they're barricading themselves in their homes, though.
And to be blunt, this is going to be on a totally different scale compared to Kalida.
As one could deduce from this exchange, it seemed that our next performance was going to be an uphill battle. We managed to pull it off the first time, but repeating the same show might not land us nearly as much success there. Come on, guys, don't be so gloom and doom. Sure, it might be harder than the show in Kalida, but if we're not smiling, how can we make anyone else smile? That's what I thought when we put on that show in Kalida. I'm right about that, aren't I? Filio's words were like a key, and my memories of being on stage in Kalida rushed forward. Smiles and claps everywhere, and in the middle of it all was a blooming flora. Everyone seemed to share the same opinion. Lilio's right. Acting all depressed isn't going to get us anywhere. Yeah, I agree. We have quite a ways before we arrive in Kultura anyway. So let's all decide our battle plan together between now and then. Hey, please tell me if there's anything I can help with. Indeed. Resolving the riots is not our task after all.
We did it once. Surely we can do it twice.
The team seemed to have all regained their vigor, and it was as lively as always. Except for Zephora, who's over here like, dun dun dun. But Zephora? Ah, crap. Well, hopefully everything will be fine. I all of a sudden just got a pop-up that my graphics card driver needs an update. And that sometimes means that we have janky problems with recording. and stuff. But everything seems to be going okay now, so hopefully I'll just update it after we're done here. In the end, Zephora hadn't even once offered his opinion on the topic of Kultura, and unfortunately the opportunity to ask why never came around. A few days later, our carriage arrived at Kultura, which was located in the westmost corner of Eshelita. Chapter 2! Woohoo! I like even the little transition chapter music is like doo 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 doo. It's like really cute. Like, and this was not a game that they had like a limited edition or anything for. Probably would. Well, did this one? I don't think it did. Sometimes it's hard because it's one of those like there's limited edition ones, and you're like, yeah, but I don't know. If you've never played the game, how do you know you're gonna like it? And you get the limited edition, and then you're like, I mean, I bought the limited edition for Charade Maniacs, and I've never played that game either. You know what I mean? Like, and I did it for Beard of Shauna, so I feel like if this one had one, I would have, because I was excited when this one was coming out. You know, there's certain games that you just see and you're like, yes, yes, that you will absolutely buy the limited editions for regardless, and then other ones you're like, probably not gonna on this one. But I don't think this one had one. Because, like, it would have been... I don't think it came with a soundtrack. Guys, I'm looking over... I have, like, 4 soundtracks for, like... that came with Otome games recently that are sitting on my shelf, still in the packaging, because, like, I never opened them. I'm just mad because the Pio Fiore ones would have been amazing, and I didn't get the, like, limited edition when the first one came out. And, like, then you listen and you're like, I'm kind of mad at it. I'm kind of mad that I didn't now. You know what I mean? But again, it's one of those, you're like, I don't know if I'm going to like the soundtrack. Like, a lot of the games they do... Is it Axis that does it? Or is it Idea Factory International? I don't remember which one does it, but they'll be like, oh, hey, there's the soundtrack you can add to your order for $10. And you're like, I'm not going to buy the soundtrack because I don't know if I like it. You know what I mean? And I'm not like, I'm going to collect all the soundtracks. You know? But then you play the game and you're like, no, it's actually really good. I would put it on the background. You know what I mean? You don't even know how much money I spend trying to find... Actually, no. I think I bought it directly from Square Enix. The Final Fantasy VII freaking remake soundtrack. That shit's amazing! And actually, like, my tiny bird when I got him from my sister is evil as shit. It's called Tiny Terror. Because he was nasty and mean, and he would just scream and bite. He's actually the sweetest little thing now. But music soothed the little savage beast, you know? Because my sister, I think, used to listen to music in the house a lot. I'm more like, I'm doing stuff, I don't think about it, you know? Or I have TV on in the background for some reason. Because if I listen to music, I want to sing and dance to it. I can't get anything done, you know what I mean? But, like, I learned, so, like, I put on that soundtrack for him, and he actually, like, liked having the music. So now we listen to Pandora sometimes, but, like, you know, we used to listen to that soundtrack a lot, and it soothed his tiny, savage little heart, and he got to be happier. Like, anyway. But, like, I would probably put this one on the background. I would put the Pio Fiore ones on in the background, but, like, I'm not taking, like, hooking up my Switch or my... Actually, did I have Pio Fiore? Yeah, on the Switch, I think. I'm not, like, putting the games in and loading them and going through the sound. You know what I mean? Like, especially when my Switch equipment and all that stuff is upstairs in my loft where, like, all my gaming stuff is. I would have to, like, take everything down and hook it up to my TV downstairs. Which I do have a dock for and everything. Still pain in me. Anyway, I just wish you could buy them after the fact, but you never can. It's like, no, you gotta get it now, and it's like, come on, seriously? Anyway, if it comes with a limited edition, then fine, but the ones that I like, I never have the things for, you know? Anyway. In Kultura, the Labyrinth City, city of craftsmen founded by the great spirit Libra, or Era, whatever. We're going with Libra. It's just easier. It's cute, I like it. Neat. Among the major 5, only this city and the capital are under the rule of hereditary governors. This one's tripping me out. Stop it. It hurts my brain. It's like a crosshatch section. Like, stop. It's the most distinct feature of Kultura is the underground labyrinth that spans across the entire city. They aren't kidding, because that literally... On the upside down doors? Is it MC Escher that did the freaking painting that's like... Is that who it is? Like, who did the big painting that's very similar to this, where there's, like, people upside down? And this is also very Jim Henson, David Bowie, the labyrinth going on. Like, stop it! This labyrinth, which gave Kultura its alias, has an extremely complex structure due to the magic of the Great Spirit of Wind. If you want to know more, take a walk with your own feet and see it for yourself. So fucking bizarre. Like, if you walked out that door, would you just be upside down and gravity doesn't apply? Or would you, like, open the door and be like, fuck! Stairs are above me! What the shit, you know? We traveled for nearly a week from Kalita. Finally, we were here in Kultura, and a gentle breeze caressed our cheeks as if in greeting. That's the Great Spirit of Wind for you. The breeze here feels so comfortable. Hey, that's snazzy. And are those herbs that I smell? Wind carries these scents around the whole city? Well, Kultura is also known for their spices. And that's probably part of the reason. And there are many wind spirits around. You can sense them flying everywhere in the city. However, the citizens we seek are nowhere to be seen. That's so sad because it's such a cute little town. Look at this. Look at the adorable little town. Just imagine it being like on the frickin' ocean or something. Like, you have the nice sea breeze and like, ugh. You're on a nice frickin' vacation. That's what it feels like. It feels like a vacation destination. We stood on the main street, the pride and joy of Kultura. Rows of handicraft and ornament shops lined the way, boasting their wares. At least that was what one would expect, but it was like a ghost town right now. I mean, we did hear that everyone was hiding away because of the lunatic riots, but to think that it was this bad. We gazed at the desolate city, then Zephora, at the rear of our line, broke the silence. Ginia, I assume the camping area is the place you mentioned beforehand? Yes, like I explained yesterday. It'll be near the plaza of the southwest area. In that case, I'll meet you there later. Everyone can go on ahead. Huh? Going off alone? Where to? Just have something I want to investigate. Fortunately, I'd stick out like a sore thumb if all of you were with me. Zephora motioned to leave after he finished talking, and when I tried to call out to him, a man dashed out of the shadows and rammed hard into my shoulder. He then ran down some steps onto a side street and left without reacting in any way. Are you okay, Spacey? Are you hurt? Not at all. I'm fine. Just a little surprised, that's all. With a wry smile, I dusted off the sand and stood up. But then... For some reason, Zephora clicked his tongue lightly and broke into a run to chase the man. Are you going to defend my honor? I doubt it. But, like, I can get my hopes up a little. Hey, Zephora! Where are you going? His expression was rather dark. I believe it would be best if we gave chase as well. Are we going to learn some more shit about Zephora because this is, like, where he came from? We decided to follow Ion's advice and descended the stairs after Zephora. Then... The area we stepped into was so peculiar that it made my head spin. What is this? Place is amazing! That door is upside down! The paths are clearly disconnected, but I can still get to the other end. What's going on? The famed underground labyrinth of Kultura. Labyrinth? The labyrinth Libra, whatever, constructed in the underground area of Kultura. Powerful wind magic warps the space inside, making everything a mess, from direction to the very concept of distance. Paths and locations of doors are in a state of constant flux. The only person who can control the labyrinth at will is the wielder of the labyrinth necklace. Ooh. Bingo! I've heard the Great Spirit Libra made this place. Like the prankster. Wind magic warps and twists the space here, and apparently the shape of the labyrinth itself can morph and shift like a mirage. Indeed. I hear it's common for the floor and ceiling to flip around or to arrive at a different spot despite taking the same path. On top of that, most tools crafted inside this labyrinth either have effects that are hard to come by, or are very, very convenient.
major product of Kultura that can only be made here, and this place is vital to the daily lives of the citizens.
Huh. Surely the ceiling can't... Hey! Zephora! Where are you? It's fucking upside down. This is insane. I love it. Huh? I guess everyone's standing on the wall. I see that the labyrinth lives up to its reputation. At this rate, looking for Zephora will be an uphill battle. Or a side hill battle, depending. But the instant Ion let out a sigh... Wait, huh? And that's Zephora over there. By sheer coincidence, we saw Zephora in the middle of our exploration. I love his fucking jacket because it just has like half a capelet. You know what I mean? Like, Zephora! Phew, I'm so glad we managed to catch up. I was wondering where all that noise was coming from. It was all of you. Didn't I say I'd find you later? Your ears seem to be purely decorative. God damn, could you slam me up against one of these walls and say that to me? Because I get off on that. Should have known when I was like, this one, I like this. I mean, Ginia is like, you know, but like, he's not a love interest. So like, that ruined it for me. But like, out of our love interests, it was this one. Should have known you were going to be the sassy bitch. Because, God, I love the sassy bitch. Again, super bonus points if he had glasses. But we did say that, yes, but we've only just arrived, so I thought it might be better if we moved around as a group. I didn't think that... We're taking credit for the fact that Ion was the one who was like, we should give chase too. Like, we followed him, man. I had nothing to do with this. Moving around together would be inefficient. Don't leave the man from earlier to me. About that, why were you even chasing him in the first place? He's like, nothing. A quick scan of the surroundings told me that the man wasn't even around anymore. How did Zephora plan on catching up to him inside such a place? Got the labyrinth necklace. Just when I tilted my head in wonder, he removed a small bag from an inner pocket. Is that an aroma sachet? Huh. It has an interesting scent. Gonna use that. Zephora didn't offer any explanations. He just lifted the bag above his head. Interesting. Huh. About to do a weird chant. Anyway. Oh, wind spirits, lend me your power. Oh. As Zephora's voice rang out, the air around him stirred. Is this magic? But Zephora isn't a spirit contractor, right? Well, we learned some shit about our boyfriends. And if you don't have a contract, spirits are willing to help out with a simple request if you offer something in return. Spirit requests. As long as humans are willing to offer compensation, spirits help humans by performing simple spells. This connection isn't as strong as a contract, so the results of requests are much weaker than the magic of contractors. The human needs to give offerings that appeal to the spirits they're asking. Maybe that's why there's always the smell of herbs and stuff floating around in the sky, because people are giving herbs to the spirits and they're like, wee! You can't draw out as much power as a contractor, but something simple like filling a cup with water is doable. Huh. Thanks for telling me. Zephora ignored our conversation and continued his request. Lead me to the man who just passed by here. Lavender was the key ingredient in that man's sachet. There's a hint of rosemary as well. Sachet. Small cloth bags filled with aromatic herbs. In Kultura, one is allocated to each citizen as proof of their residency. Inside... Really? All I need to pretend that I live here is just, I got a sachet. Hey, see, I got one too. Anyway, inside them are dried maracas flowers. Citizens can fill them with their favorite herbs and enjoy coming up with different combinations of scents. Winds began bellowing around Zephora before flowing in one direction like a guide. Oh, does that mean we'll find the guy if we follow this? Wow, you're awesome, Zephora. He looks so pained by that. Filio praised Zephora like an innocuous child, but he paid him no heed before leaving with the wind. Literally leaving. We were hot on Zephora's heels as we went deeper into the labyrinth. Stop right there. At the end of our search, we found the man that bumped into me earlier. The instant he saw us, he turned to flee, but it didn't end well for him. I told you to stay still. Zephora closed the distance, forced the man to put his arms behind his back, and clamped down on him, holding him in place. Oh, that hurts! Let me go! Zephora, he only bumped into me. There's no need to go so far. Still haven't realized. This man's a pickpocket. Huh? I'm like, I don't have anything in my pockets to pick. Stole my lint. Dare you? Saying that. Zephora rummaged through the man's pockets. And a moment later, he held up a hand mirror, the one that I'd kept in my bag. That's mine! Unfortunately for you, he didn't steal your money. Well, fortunately for me, I don't have any. Give that back. That's mine. Your. Oh, that's Pashalia, sorry. Yours. What nonsense are you spouting? Not mirror species for sure. When she was a child, Spiria Who cares? I grabbed it, so it's mine now. Hand it over. It's mine. Hand it over. Takes it, puts him in. It's mine now. I took it from you. With bulging eyes, the man frantically tried to snatch away my hand mirror. There was madness to his hysteria, and I took a step back warily. Hey, don't get too close. That mirror out of this guy's sight. Okay, Zephora, thank you for getting this back. Don't owe me words of gratitude. Didn't catch him for your sake. Zephora's tongue was as sharp as always, and he shifted his gaze to look at Ion. On to more important matters. Ion, escort him to the public security forces. I do not mind, but you ought to take credit for his capture, Zephora. Used to be an officer, communication would be smoother. I want to focus on another matter. You all can deal with him yourselves.
Oh, why not come along, Zephora?
Listen, the boy's got some. Let the boy have his secrets!
You can just stand by and watch from behind. I bet you're curious about the peculiars of this case. Am I wrong?
Ginny smiled meaningfully. Zephora shot a glare at him before letting out a long sigh. Ginny manipulating him. Like, listen, he's like, why don't you come along? What are you going to do? Let him have his secrets! Okay? We'll find him out later, don't worry. You're going to be like, let Zephora have his secrets, okay? Thanks, I guess. And you're like, no, we're going to figure him out later. I'm just fronting. Like, after he leaves, you're like, don't worry, we'll follow him, okay? Ready? Follow him. We left the labyrinth and proceeded to hand the man over to the security forces. Thank you for your cooperation. Hey, you, what's your name? Do you know where you are? I'm not sure. Where am I? Who are you? The officer clicked his tongue in displeasure as he questioned the pickpocket. We got another one here, it seems. Can you tell me what you did? I remember now. I think I took something from this girl's bag. I'm sorry. Been hard to make ends meet lately, and I felt more bitter toward people, but I never intended to rob anyone. For some reason, though, I couldn't outright forgive him. I could tell that he was truly regretting it. He'd fought when we'd seized him, but now he was completely docile. I feel like resignation, or as if he'd been released from whatever possessed him. He was like a different person. I stared, taken aback. Wait, is this? Citizens suddenly lose their good judgment and commit crimes. We refer to them as the lunatic riots. Sounds a little more extreme. You know what I mean? Like, I guess when you're like, and you just go after someone and start beating them. That seems kind of like you're a lunatic, but this guy is just so much calmer than that. The severity of the cases vary. Some commit robbery, while others escalate to assault. There's one common factor. After criminals are caught, they regain their sanity and admit to their crimes, apologizing and claiming they suddenly lost control. Also, here's the thing. You could totally go out and do crime, and then when you get caught, you can be like, what? I don't even remember doing that. Like, because you know that that's the pattern now. So you could absolutely go commit a crime and then pretend you didn't know about it. Just saying. I'm just saying. Because this is the common acceptance here. It's like, oh man, there's just weird shit happening. So. Is this one of the incidents Celeste mentioned? In that case, did Zephora seize the criminal to investigate the lunatic riots? He's an information broker. I snuck a glance at Sephora, standing at the very back of the group, and his head was hung low, almost as if he was trying to face the ground. He remained silent. Maybe he doesn't want anyone to recognize him. So, this was a lunatic riot. Ah, you were aware, I see.
Yeah, well, I didn't think we'd be dragged into one the moment we arrived, though.
In truth, I've only been recently assigned here, so I don't know the details. I hear that the riots began 3 years ago, and they've been on the rise recently. The citizens are keeping outings to a minimum under the directions of the Sentinel, but there seems to be no end to the incidents. Please be careful during your stay, everyone. Those words, the security forces took the perpetrator and left the area. Hey, what's the Sentinel?
The Labyrinth Sentinel is the governor of the city. The current Sentinel is a man named Balto.
Labyrinth Sentinel, the ruler of Kultura, the Labyrinth City. Unlike other cities where rulers are officials selected by the royal capital, Kultura is governed by successors in a family line. As different as this system may be, Kultura is still in alignment with the country's laws and ideals. Is Balto fucking, Zephora's dad? He's like, I didn't want people to know. They're like, oh, hey, you're Balto's kid. Like, oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god, there's some kind of secret. I can't wait. We might not find it out in the common route. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying. That's why he's hiding and doesn't want people. Like, you take him to the cops. I don't want them to see me.
All right. Kultura has a different government system from other cities. Yeah, the government officials dispatched from the capital administer the other cities. But Kultura is ruled by the Sentinel, and that title's passed down through the generations. Ah, so that person's announced a lockdown to protect his people. See?
Lockdown. As a means to protect his citizens from the lunatic riots, the Sentinel Balto released an official notice to refrain from going outside unless necessary. How are they going to come to our show if we told them not to go outside? Balto, was it? Since the citizens are willing to obey without protest, he must be a very charismatic man. I'm just saying! Zephora has some kind of dealings with him. Either they had run-ins, or it's his daddy. Or older brother, or something. They're related. I just feel like they're related, because, like, it's always relatives. But if I had to sit still in my house for so long, I definitely couldn't stand it. Listen, Vilio! You do what you gotta do for 2 fucking years, okay? Actually, what these people are dealing with is, like, basically what we dealt with. I mean, obviously, but I mean, like, because I'm still in my damn house. It's been 3 fucking years. But that's only because I started blacking out. So, like, doctors were like, don't drive until we figure out what the fuck is wrong with you. So, I have to work from home. So it was like, we got past COVID. We're finally out to go back in the office. And then I guess my body was like, no, I don't want to do this. Let's black out so you can't drive. So, like, what the shit? So, like, So I have been one of these people, although, you know, not against, it wasn't a government kind of mandate the last year, but still. So, you know, Vilio, you learn to get used to it. And honestly, for introvert, I can understand why Vilio would hate it. He's definitely an extroverted extrovert. For an introverted introvert, you're like, you know what? That was the best 2 years of my life. I didn't have to leave my fucking house. It was great. You know? You're like, that was amazing. You're like, I can't go out. Damn. And like, my friends know that I'm an introverted introvert, so like, they know getting me out of the house is like pulling teeth, but like, that's why they're my friends, and that's why I love them, you know? But like, most people just, you should get out. You should go out. I don't want to. I like to be in my house. It's safe in my house. It's comfortable in my house. Being out is scary. I don't like it. Like, when I do go out, I do dress like a circus clown. So, like, circus magician, okay, whatever. So, like, you know, I do like getting dressed up. But it is one of those, like, you go out and you're like, oh, yeah, it's out, it's fun. Okay, I went to the eye doctor and I had a great time and I talked to people. And then you go home and you're like, I could not leave my house for a month now. You know what I mean? Like, I can turn on the extrovert. And this is why people at work laugh at me when I'm like, no, I'm an introvert. I'd rather not talk to people. Like, oh, okay, whatever. And it's like, because as an introvert, here's the thing. As an extrovert, you are never forced to be introverted. Except for the 2 years we spent in COVID. And you literally almost died. Oh my god, it's hell, you don't understand! Yes, we introverts understand, because our entire lives, we are like, you have to go out, you have to talk to people, you have to socialize. Why? Why can't I just sit in my corner, do my own, leave me alone? Okay, but no, there's no respect for introverts. But an extrovert had to be stuck in the damn house for 2 fucking years, and the whole world has got to feel sorry for you. Get over yourself. Sorry. But it really is. Like, extroverts really learned in those 2 years what it's like to be an introvert. Multiply that by decades, okay? I was like, my whole life, you're forced to be an extrovert. So, like, because you can't just be an introverted introvert. I'm sometimes an extroverted. Like, I do this, but this is like me talking to myself, so it makes no difference. You know what I mean? If we're like, oh, okay, we're going to have 20 people show up and sit there. This is why I don't stream. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm going to have a stream and people come. Oh my God, no, that's interacting with people. I could go on other people's streams and, like, chat with people if I'm feeling social. Or, like, yeah, that I don't mind, because then you're like, nah, I don't want to talk to people anymore. You don't have to. But being, like, a streamer, you have to sit there and you engage with people and you have to be on. And, like, I can't do that, man. That's, like, I can't. I couldn't handle that. But talking like this is fine because it's on my own time. I do what I want, and it's like I'm talking to myself. So, like, you just see it after the fact, which is why I say stupid shit all the time. But I guess it makes it entertaining. Anyway, Billy-O, sweetie, you'll be fine. You'll get over it, okay? You'll learn to deal, just like the introverts had to deal with always having to be extroverted for our entire fucking existences, so. You couldn't meet anyone, couldn't talk to anyone. Don't you think that's horrible? God, no, it sounds like a dream come true.
That'd be painful for sure, especially here. I mean, Kultura is called the City of Harmony for a reason. Well, their citizens are very connected.
The City of Harmony? Seems like an odd name, considering they're known for their labyrinth. Wouldn't that keep people apart?
I'd be surprised. Sure, people who aren't used to the labyrinth have a hard time getting around, but for the folks here, it's part of their lives. Using the labyrinth doors, it only takes 30 seconds to reach the other end of the city and visit your honey. The distance is no obstacle.
I see. So no one's very far from anyone else at any given time. And that closeness is what makes it the City of Harmony. That sounds like a living hell. I thought this town was cute, but now I think it's hell.
Yep, exactly. Basically, the entire city's your neighborhood, so you get to know everyone eventually.
Oh, God. It's a nightmare.
And the current situation must be horrendous for the people here. Their freedom seems to be severely limited.
City of fucking extroverts. Indeed. It only makes sense that Chloris bloom rates are decreasing here.
I'm sorry,
we looked around the deserted streets, feeling heavy-hearted about how barren everything was. With that weighing on our minds, we headed for the tent site. I don't know how they expect anyone to show up when, like, they're all locked inside. Setup was a piece of cake for us by then. That's what Sephora was going to go off and do. He's going to go talk to Daddy, get the okay for people to come out for the show. They're going to be like, how'd you do it? Got my sources. Don't ask! We rapidly established our base of operations and assembled in the common area to decide our plan of action.
Okay, so, plans. We seem to have gotten yet another troublesome city.
I mean, I feel like all of them are troublesome. Oh, scare the crap out of me. Ow, my city is exactly like we'd heard in our briefing. Agreed. And the citizens are all stuck at home in fear of riots, which means...
Well, how things are, the urgent problem's not deciding what kind of show we should put on, but that no one can leave their house.
Yeah, I think we should start by trying to learn more about the people here. And I do go door to door. Unless we talk to them, we won't even be able to come up with any ideas. I guess we split up to investigate again. I was about to nod in agreement with Billy-O's suggestion when...
Everyone, hold your horses for a moment. I've got one announcement to make first.
Junior raised his hand and waved it around flippantly before he made a statement.
We've got our face-to-face meeting with the Sentinel, Balto, at noon tomorrow. Keep that in mind.
Ah, okay. Meeting, you say? Oh, look! It's his daddy! You know it! Look at him! Look at his face! He looks panicked! Fuck! He's related to him somehow. I'm going with dad, because, like, that would be, you'd be like, oh my god, my dad. You know what I mean? A meeting, you say?
Greeting the overseer is basic manners, isn't it? We were originally scheduled for today, but he said he was busy.
It's a good idea. We may be able to gain good insight from the governor. But it's scheduled for tomorrow, right? In that case, I do not believe investigating the city today would pose a problem.
Hey,
considering what just happened, it's probably risky for Spacey to go alone.
Good point. The dudes can do whatever, but you should stick with one of us.
Okay, I'll pair up with somebody then.
If you ever get separated and don't know what to do, you can go to Cheers and ask Leon to help you out.
Huh? I mean, I know there's probably a Cheers here too, but shouldn't Leon be an Arthier?
Well, he's got a few tricks up his sleeve. Leon can travel to any of the Cheers branches at will.
That's what I was actually wondering when it's like, he'll be there, and I'm like, does he have, like, clones? Does he have a magic portal? Huh? How?
That's a special Fey network thing.
I don't think too hard about it. He was likely implying that it worked in a way beyond human comprehension, but... Magic portal. Good enough. I can't believe Leon can go around the world whenever he wants. I'm a little jealous. He would let you go around the world whenever you wanted if you were dating him. I was literally in my brain, and I had to stop myself. Was gonna be like, Leon would let you go around his world whenever you want. Because he absolutely would. But he would also take you around. You'd be like, Leon, I want to... Oh, anywhere you want to go, honey, let's go. So I'm just saying. If that's an interest to you, I'm sure he would sell it. While such thoughts ran through my mind, Zephora spoke up and steered us back on track. I'll look around the labyrinth. I know my way around, so I'm the only one who can. Indeed. Anyone else would only get lost if they were assigned to the area. Really fine going there alone. I'd actually be much easier for me without any dead weight dragging me down. Wow, he didn't hold back at all. Alright, I'll finish up some business here first and head out. I guess I'll head to the plaza. There might be someone there.
I'll head to the main street again and try my luck. Some shops are probably open.
In that case, I shall focus my investigation on the side streets and alleys.
Okay then, go off on your merry ways, all of you. See you tonight.
Oh, I guess that's kind of cute because then before it was like you go certain places, but now you're going to go with someone. Oh, interesting. So this time, let's see. Oh, we don't talk to Rady this time. Interesting. Okay. Whoops. Okay. There's no one, it's just those ones. You don't get to talk to Ginia. Okay. Well, it says to go with Vilio, so. Or talk to him in the common area. Alright. I should compile a grocery list so that I can go shopping along the way. Or that I can shop along the way, sorry. My plan decided, I returned to our tents alone. That reminds me, Vilio said he had stuff to do around here, but... He was neither in the common area nor in his tent. Where in the world did he go? I pondered that while writing on my list, and then...
Oh, you were around, Spacey.
That's true. You know what's actually funny? I just realized that as I was doing this. I'm like, oh, we go see Vilio again. No, every time we go look for him, he's nowhere to be found. When we did that, we went to the main streets or whatever last time, and he was just nowhere.
The perfect timing. If you're going to stock up on groceries right now, how about we head off together?
Huh? But we still have the investigation.
Oh, don't sweat the small stuff.
Ginia grabs my arm and pulled me along as he headed toward the city. God, yet why would I say no to this? He didn't even give me a chance to ask where we were going. I like the fact that we get to spend time with Ginia even though he's a side character and he fucking shouldn't be. Like, why, as part of the main group, was he not a romanceable character? I don't get it.
Most shops are closed. I figured as much, but it's such a waste of a trip to Kultura.
And just like I'd guessed, Ginia made me accompany him on his own shopping trip. Though we called it shopping, most of the shops were indeed closed. Whenever we found one of the rare few that were open, everyone would regard us with suspicion, and we didn't feel welcomed at all. This is probably an effect of the lunatic riots as well, huh? There are so few customers around. Can they even make ends meet?
Well, the folks here mostly earn their keep by exporting their crafts, you see. Only a small minority do retail sales locally, so it's probably not going to hurt them too badly right away or anything.
Hasn't it been 3 years?
And that being said, the street would usually be a lively place full of tourists and merchants coming and going.
Not so. The signboards targeting tourists are still up and everything, yet the place was almost like a ghost town. So desolate.
You know, the riots going on may be part of the reason, but the city actually has the lowest bloom rates of the major 5.
I wasn't too surprised when I heard that. In my mind, cities were places filled with hustle, bustle, and cheery voices. But no laughter or even raised voices of dispute were to be found in Kultura.
It's pretty ironic. The great spirit of wind represents freedom, but the people here are fettered and robbed of such a right.
Aren't you contracted to a wind spirit as well, Ginia?
Yeah, people say they're always doing their own thing, are difficult to reason with, and have few contractors. But that was exactly what made them perfect for me in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, we say this when we learned that before. I think I can see why. Ginia is always marching to the beat of his own drum, just like those spirits.
Communicating and forming contracts with them may be hard, but once they form a bond, they treasure it forever.
I really hope they localize the frickin' fan disc where you romance Ginia. Because they localize this one, so I feel like the fan disc isn't too much to ask. You know. And I feel like, okay, aside from Amnesia where it took fucking forever to get the fan disc localized, all the other ones, like Pio Fiore, they localized the game, and then they localized the fan disc a little while later. You know what I mean? I feel like the recent times, because they're localizing so many Atome games, like in ye olde days, it was like one every so many fucking decades, right? And now it's like you get like 5, 6, 7, 8 a year, where there's still more coming out. Like every other day, you're like, wait. What do you mean there's 5 more games coming out at the end of the year? You know what I mean? I think I've lost track. Like, I don't even know. There's one other one that's coming out that I pre-ordered, and I think there's another 1 or 2 that are being localized that I'm like, right, shit, okay. Like, you can't keep up. I'm not complaining. This is the best problem in the world. If this were 99 of my 100 problems, I'd be fucking excited, okay? This is the greatest problem to have. It's too many games, not enough time to play them. I live for this. But I really hope it means that because, like, the games they've been localizing in the last few years, the fan discs seem to also come out, you know? Like, Code Realize, all the fan discs came out pretty soon afterward. Like, Pio Fiore, the fan disc came out. What other ones have we had fan discs for? I mean, like, you know, but games that, like Amnesia and Hakuoki, which were localized a while ago, they didn't really necessarily, even though there's fan discs for them, it took forever to get Amnesia's fan discs. And where are the 32 fan discs for Hakuoki? Because they love that one. They love to port it to every freaking option. They love to do all these things. It's like, localize the fan discs! Just do it already! So, really hope this one is, like, just right up there with, like, yeah, no, we're gonna localize it, like, right away. You know what I mean? Because not being able to romance Ginia is a fucking crime. And I feel like they need to serve time for that. And that is localizing the fan disc. That's their penance for this, okay? Come on. Anyway. Yeah, I already read this. We chatted about wind spirits as we made our way back to the camp area. But then, I remembered the grocery list I'd stuffed into my pocket. Oops, that's right. Hey, Ginia.
Yes?
Could you accompany me on my shopping next?
Oh my. Are you looking for trinkets? Maybe accessories? A new handbag, perhaps?
Look at his fucking face! Oh my god. You'll find out when we get there. He's gonna be so mad when it's food. Thus, I coerced Ginia into helping me with shopping for food and daily necessities. He served the role of pack mule, and I took note. He served the role of pack mule, and as I took note of his weary expression, we waited for everyone to come back from their investigations in the city. It serves him right. I love it.
To summarize, nobody got any outstanding results today.
After everyone reported back to base, Ginny announced the results.
Zilch. A few shops were still open, but there were pretty much no customers. That's rather sad.
Tried asking the spirits, but like we'd heard, everyone here has mostly shut themselves away in their houses. The riots have also served as a catalyst for the overall crime rate here. Indeed, foul people seem to be gathering here because the security forces are overwhelmed. With how things are, promoting our show in streets and plazas like we did back in Kalita probably won't work. I guess our only choice is to go around knocking on every single door.
Well, I can't come up with any better ideas right now.
A lot of work to keep that up until our audience is full. Honestly, I don't really think people'd come even if we did that. They might accept our flyers, but the people in charge here have told the citizens to stay at home. Wait, actually... Ginnia?
Yes?
We've got to meet Sentinel Balto tomorrow, right? Would it be possible to ask him to cooperate with our promotion during that meeting? I see. The citizens will probably act if it's the decree of their governor. I know it might be asking too much for him to tell everyone to come out, since it's risky. But if we're able to hear his perspective, at least we might get a clue about how to proceed. I cannot wait for that. We're probably not going to get to that in this part, but like, man, I can't wait.
A good point. Well, even if it doesn't work out, it's worth bringing up.
In that case, I suppose that'll be all for today.
I think so. I mean, we don't have any info on hand, so we can't come up with any good ideas by sitting around here.
It's time for food! It smells so good! I've been wondering what was for dinner the whole time we've been talking. Ion headed to the kitchen right away and began carrying over the prepared dishes. I attempted an assortment of recipes that use local herbs. Kultura was founded by the great spirit of wind, and there's a belief that fragrances carried by the wind would clear impurities. And that's apparently why they chose to use so many herbs in their cooking, creating a mix of rich aromas. That's why everyone in the city has such an interesting scent. I never smelled anything like it. I don't know how to explain it, but it's very unusual. Do they? I tilted my head in question, but Bilio went ahead and took a big bite out of his food. Here I go! Pizza's amazing! It's crunches, it's chewy, and it's delicious! Kultura happens to have several communal stone ovens, you see. I borrowed one to bake these. Stone oven? An oven with a baking chamber made from stone. In Kultura, these are used for both cooking and handicrafts, and they are an essential part of the citizens' lives there. Hope they're not making handicrafts inside an oven that they also cook in, because you really shouldn't do that. I mean, okay, I guess you technically, if you're baking clay, you bake it in your oven. I'm just thinking that you can do, what am I thinking of? Sublimation? On, when you get tumblers and mugs and they have the print on them, and it's not, vinyl or a sticky piece. That's sublimation, and you can do that in an oven, but you're not really supposed to do that in an oven you cook food in. You have to get a separate oven for it. Even if it's a toaster oven, you can do it in one, technically. But not where you cook food because of the gases and the fumes that come out that are going to get in your food and kill you. You know what I mean? But, I guess... So it's just weird when you're like, don't do... But I guess you technically, do crafts if you do shrinky dinks. Am I so old? And people know what shrinky dinks are, right? Good God. Or, you were making, doing clay things or whatever, you bake them in your oven. Oh, yeah. But then now all of a sudden I'm like, am I so old that I'm like, I don't know if we should do that, we might kill ourselves. But then again, I'm so old, we bake shrinky dinks and clay and all those things in the oven and ate food, and I'm not dead yet, so I don't know. It just concerned me for a second. Whatever.
This salad filled with herbs is a delight as well.
If you come across anything with scents you dislike, please tell me.
The jagged leaves here and the stems over here might not sit too well with me. This round one too. In my case, it's this and this.
I shall note that. Next time I'll attempt recipes that keep those to a minimum.
Oh, come on, Ion.
Don't spoil these guys rotten. You gotta teach your kids to eat a healthy diet from a young age. Brady says that like he's 100. I vibe with him very much, like, you just feel old in your soul. It's been 84 years. I'm 187, damn it. I watched them enjoy the food while I relished the exquisite taste of Kulturian cuisine, too. And that was when I noticed. Zephora lifted his plate mutely before he turned to leave the common area. Zephora, are you already done? There's something I want to look into, so I'll eat in my own tent. Is it possibly lunatic riots? Your business. Once again, he gave me the cold shoulder before walking off with brisk strides. You know what? You're trying to tell me to fuck off, sweetie, but that only makes me want to fuck on. Wait. Like, you're pushing me away. I'm playing hard to get, and I like it. Huh. I got problems. Might just be imagining things, but I feel that Sephora's been kind of grumpy ever since we arrived in Kultura. Usually when he turns us down, he doesn't seem to be so on edge. How do I put it? Like he might snap at any time. I was worried about Zephora, but I knew that he likely wouldn't tell me even if I asked. Thus, I decided to stay out of it and continued eating my food. I'm meeting with the Sentinels just past noon. Make sure to keep that in mind. In the middle of breakfast, Ginia made his announcement and the team gave their individual replies. However, I'm not going. Unlike everyone else, Zephora had a grim look on his face as he declared his absence. He doesn't want to see Daddy! Look, okay, it might not be his dad. It'll be like, I got in trouble once as a kid and I don't, oh, you troublemaker! You know what I mean? Or, you're not allowed to be here. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is, but I feel like it's his dad. Or not. There's no point for all of us to go in a crowd. Having more people doesn't mean we get more useful information. That might be true, but the people of Kultura are shut-ins right now, so if we ask for the Sentinel's opinion, we can understand Kultura better, and I have nothing I want to ask the Sentinel. I know this city well enough already. And I have an investigation to do, so all of you can go ahead and meet the Sentinel, but leave me out of it. And is that investigation about the lunatic riots? You can go ahead and do your own thing, but please at least tell us about what you're doing. We need everyone's help if we want the show to be a success, so if I don't play the game of friendship with you all, the show will still work out. Zephora was a tough nut to crack as he refused to share his plans with us. He marched out of the common area without another word. I love him. He's so salty and bitchy. And it's like, oh, you've got so many secrets. You're not going to tell us Balto's your dad. Well, Zephora probably has his reasons, so let's leave him to his own devices for now. Let's go fish out some super-duper key info and shove it in Zephora's face. Yeah. Ginny is like, Jesus Christ, guys, simmer down. Oh! Oh, okay. I'm going to stop here. We probably have we technically have a few more minutes, but I have a feeling this scene talking to Balto and everything's going to go on a little bit more than just a quick line or two. So, oh my god, it's so his fucking dad, isn't it? Oh god, is it? Guys! Anyway, we'll find out next time, so. Maybe. At the minimum next time, but maybe after, so. I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.